Hey guys! Nice to see you again, friends. Welcome to another episode of EFT Appetizers right here in my dining room. Today we'll talk a little bit about food, finally. Okay, so what food should we talk about? I think we should talk about poo-poo platters from Chinese restaurants. Why? Because when you go to order Chinese food, you can pick this or that or this or that. But if you order a poo-poo platter, that's something you could share with others, and that gives you a real experience of Chinese food. Anything you eat there will taste Chinese. So what's the EFT equivalent of a poo-poo platter? Risk. Not the kind of risk that we encourage our clients to take, like showing their vulnerable parts and risking and sharing it with their partners. A different type of risk. A risk that isn't spelled properly. Let's just be honest here. RISSSC. Yes, risk. I like it because I'm not a good speller at all. So when I see this and I see that other people out there don't mind bad spelling, it makes me feel a little validated. So thank you, ISEFT, for keeping it this way. I know that there are some summons out against you from the National Spelling Bee Association, and I'm sorry for that, but I think you should keep it. Okay, that's a joke, everyone. I guess I'm not that funny. All right. Anyway, so what is risk? Risk stands for a few things, and if we just keep doing it this way, according to the risk standard, then we're good. We are EFT therapists. Sometimes the steps and stages could get very confusing. Where are we on the map? Who's the pursuer? Who's the withdrawer? It's really hard to keep it all organized. So if we just kind of keep our way aligned with this risk, then we don't need to get as worried, and it's a lot easier to just stay focused even when we're getting lost. So what does each one stand for? R stands for repeat, and that's because in EFT, we're going over the same stuff again and again and again and again and again and again. And the reason for that is because we want our clients to begin to have the same experiences, but see it differently. We're creating new meaning around the same pieces. So that's why there's a lot of repetition. You'll even find repetition when you read Hold Me Tight. It's just repeating again and again and again. And it's not because we're not smart and we don't have something new to offer our clients. And this is what facilitates change. And this is what creates new meaning and healing. So we're going to repeat things a lot. But we're going to repeat it and keep going deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. So the more we repeat it, the more we're expanding their frame. We do this in an intervention called seeding attachment. We're going to keep putting attachment language in there until finally they start picking it up themselves. I know I get so excited when I have, let's say, like my tough macho guy after like 7 sessions all of a sudden saying, yeah, so when I'm not connected to her, then it feels bad. As opposed to we're fighting or something like that. Inside I'm like, yes, he knows it. He said when we're not connected. So the more we repeat it, that's kind of how to install some of these, EFT attachment concepts to our clients. Okay, the next letter, I, images. Images are vital here because one of the biggest parts that we're trying to do is get them out of their prefrontal cortex, out of their rational mind, and to take them more to their emotional experience. And one of the languages for that is imagery, just metaphors. It helps us really come alongside our clients. If let's say, I say as a client, I'm feeling really, 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 really scared. And I know as a therapist, for me, myself, I know what scared feels like, but I don't know what her scared feels like. So I'm going to ask her for an image, and then that will help me come alongside her and attune to her a little bit better. And she may say something like, I'm feeling so scared. I feel like a tiny little mouse just walking the streets, and at any moment someone's going to stomp on me. Whoa, what a rich metaphor. I may not have been able to come close to what that experience was like if I just kind of stayed to my experience. So we're going to invite images from the clients, and we're going to use it. We're going to not just say, oh, okay, I get it, but then we're going to take their images and use it in our language throughout. We're going to say, so when you're feeling small, like this little mouse running through the sidewalk, through the streets, ready to get stomped on at any moment, what is that like for you? And we're going to use it as entry points to kind of go in there. Or maybe at a later session when we see the spouse kind of getting angry at this client, and we're going to say, are you turning into that little mouse now? Does it feel like you're going to get stomped on at any moment? And then this way we have the language of the client, and we're able to really attune. So we want to stay alongside our clients' images, but there will be times when we want to offer our own imagery. Like if we're working with a withdrawer who just is not connected to these parts of themselves in this emotional place, and they just can't quite come up with anything. So we can offer some conjectures of imagery, but we want to really check in and see if it fits with them. If we think of an image of, somebody cornered or someone under the butcher knife or something like that, we're going to offer it, and then we're going to say, is that what's going on for you? Is that a little bit what it feels like for you? And either they'll say yes, or they'll say, no, actually it feels like X, Y, and Z. And bam, that's our imagery that we go to. I remember before I became an EFT therapist, I used to think of these amazing metaphors and images, and I would offer it to my clients, and sometimes they would go with it, and sometimes they wouldn't. And when they wouldn't, I would kind of push at them and be like, yeah, that's what it is. That's what it is. Don't you see it? But now I know better. In EFT land, we know to stay attuned. So if we're going to offer an image, we need to really make sure that it lands on them. And if it doesn't, then we need to throw it out the window. So the most important thing is to make sure that the image actually lands on them and that it is true to their experience, because the whole point of this is for us to slow it down and come alongside them. All right, so the first S, simple. We want to use simple words, and this is so hard. This is actually why I am comparing it to poo-poo platter, because when I first heard about some of these things, I said, poo-poo, I'm not going to do that. Because why? If I'm going to use simple words, hello, I worked really hard for my SAT score like however decades ago, and I have really good verbal capacity, and I don't want to just throw all my nice big words out the window, but I kind of have to. Because in EFT, I need to get these clients out of their rational brain, out of their prefrontal cortex, and every time I use like a 5-syllable word, then bam, we kind of pull them away from their limbic system, and we want to go into the emotional part of them. We want to go into that amygdala area. We want to go to those synapses that have meaning around it in a bad way, and we want to unlock it and bring it into a better place. So the only way to do that is to use simple words, just a few syllables, and just simple. Like, don't be all highfalutin, even though when I watch my videotapes with clients, I see I still do it. I'm working on it. It's okay. It's all work in progress. That's why we call it a practice. I'm in private practice. All right, the next S. I always think, little confession, I always get confused with risk and KISS, keep it simple, stupid. So I always think that S, the next S is stupid, but then I'm like, no. In EFT, nobody's stupid. There's no way. And even if someone is stupid, we find a nice reframe. Like, okay, so when we find that those letters just evade you and you can't spell, what goes on for you there? That's what an EFT therapist would do for me when I talk about how stupid I am with spelling. But no, there's no stupid in EFT. So S is not for stupid. The next S is for slow. Slow, that's a word for stupid. Okay, so that is different kinds of slow. Oh my gosh. I'm really sorry that I crack myself up when I talk to myself, so thank you for bearing with me. No, here it comes again. Okay, I'm gonna be good. S. S is for slow. Slow pacing, because again, we want to bring them into a different place. We want to slow down the process so we can catch it. We want to make it safe. When we talk to a baby, we're talking slow, and we're making it really safe. We're saying, you're good the way that you are. You don't need to do anything. Just the way you are is good. So when we're talking slow, we're creating safety. We're slowing down their process. And this way, we can facilitate change. And with slow, we want to make sure that it's attuned, because if we have a client who's very angry or very fast, we're not going to want to just jump in with the slow, because then that's really misattuned and it's not going to land. It's going to escalate them more. So we'll first want to match their affect with the fast, and then we're going to slow it down. It's like if you want to change somebody's dance moves, first you have to dance their way, and then you can integrate yours, and they're going to start to follow you. So make sure that the slow is attuned slow. Because like if they're coming in saying, I can't believe what happened, again, we don't want to be like, wow, again. Instead we'll say, again, this happened again. And when this happens again, and then we can start slowing it down. So make sure to use their affect as your entry point to start adjusting to the slow. The next S, soft. soft also. When I'm slowing it down, I naturally go soft. So those S's are almost married to each other. And then the last one is C. That's client's words. I hated this one so much. This is the biggest one that I poo-pooed, because client's words mean that when you're reflecting, you literally reflect their words, not just their experience. Like if a client says, I was so ticked off when she did that to me. We have to reflect that in their words. You were so ticked off when she did that to you, rather than you felt angry when you experienced her doing it that way. Do you see the difference? When I don't use clients' words and I'm really just kind of reporting what's going on, not right alongside the client, then I am so far removed from this client's experience. And guess what? Soon they're going to be ticked off at me because I'm trying to help them, but I'm not coming alongside them. So that will definitely be conducive to more ticking off. So even if it's a little dangerous for the other spouse, we're going to really want to use clients' words. And if we feel like, oh no, we're losing alliance with the other one, then we'll just radically attune to the other when we get there, but not without tying a bow first on whoever we're working with. And then also in this stage 2 work, we're going to really want to use their words. When we're getting them down deep and they're saying, I feel so shattered, we're going to say, shattered. That's all. That's our intervention. We're going so slow and we're just going to go, shattered. And then that way they kind of sit there, and then that facilitates them to go deeper. It's like, who am I? Who am I if I could be this shattered? Who are you? We're just going to really mimic their words exactly. We're not going to start conjecting in these places. So it's hard because sometimes we're conjecting, sometimes we're reflecting exact words. It really is hard to balance it all out, and the only way to figure it out is to practice it out with our third eye to see, am I attuned? Am I losing alliance? And they will show you what works, and they will show you what doesn't work. That's how EFT kind of came about in the first place. Just a lot of videotapes, just seeing what works and what doesn't. So take that home with you into your practice and see what works and what doesn't. So that's it for risk. Now you know my little secret that I can crack myself up for hours. Here it comes again. I will turn this off before you need to witness more of me laughing by myself in my house alone. Please don't institutionalize me, and please stay tuned for next time. I appreciate the views. I love you guys, and I'll see you soon. See you next week. Bye.